Hey everybody, this is Kenny Cummings here, Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. I'm very happy to be joined with my guest this time out of Florida. She goes by the name of Anna Diaz. She is with me right now. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for taking this time and doing this interview. I appreciate it.
Oh no, thank you for having me.
So you live in Florida, right?
Yes.
Miami, to be exact.
Yeah. Yeah, Miami, Florida.
Lucky you. Very warm weather. Very warm weather. I'm gonna assume, even though we are still in the winter season, or is it like maybe 70 degrees and whatnot?
Yeah, there's no winter in Miami.
No. Yeah, I thought so. But probably some cold, maybe a little bit, but not too much. I presume. But
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and begin. What made you decide to become a wrestler? How did it all started off for you?
Well, it all really started with my dad, because he would, since he was little, he would watch wrestling all the time. Like, he was obsessed. And then that rubbed off on my brother. So my dad and my brother would start watching wrestling. And then, of course, when I was born, it rubbed off on me too. And when you watch wrestling, like, you can't help but fall in love with it. Like, every little kid just loves and adores wrestling because of the characters and, like, how athletic those wrestlers are. You can't help but appreciate it.
You know, with wrestling, there's a lot of ways to describe it, especially those that understand it. People call it Shakespeare. People call it soap opera. People call it Broadway's with tights. And I enjoyed the storylines, the storytelling, not just through words, but through action. And that's what made me a fan of wrestling. Mostly the characters and just the storytelling. The athleticism was pretty cool, but it was like hearing what the heels have to say, and then they get a loud reaction. It was just it's compelling art, I would say, and of course they're all yeah.
It's an art form. It's an art form for sure. It's a lifestyle. I mean, you can't help but fall in love with those characters and how they project what they're saying, and like you said, the storylines. Like, it's entertainment. You can't help but just, like, not want to change the channel, you know?
Yeah, it pretty much for fans, like when you are emotionally invested in a character, like you believe in this character, like this character should go far, like pursuit of
Absolutely.
championships and things like that. And you want that character to do well. And when that character loses, then fans starts to lose it. Literally, you know.
Yeah.
It definitely, there's an emotional attachment to the sport from a fan standpoint.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, that's half of it, because the in-ring ability is that's just half of what you have to learn. You also have to learn how to be, like you said, emotionally, like, how you need to be able to capture the fans and want them to want you to win or want you to lose, which I find amazing.
yeah, I like to call wrestlers puppet masters because you get the crowd at the palm of your hand. It don't matter what you do, what you say, people will react. Especially you go to indie shows, and I've seen this too many times. Like, especially towards the heels, people will argue, will want to curse you out, will want to put a hand on you, but we all know that you ain't supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to touch the performers. Like you can yell,
Yeah.
you can argue back and forth. You can't touch them, and you can't throw objects at them. Um, so it's yeah, it will get out of hand at times, but as long as people just know what they can and can't do, especially the adults, then everyone's gonna be okay. It'll work out itself. So you got
Yeah.
yeah,
What I can say about wrestling fans is that they're very passionate.
very very accurate for sure. So you got a lot coming up. March 24th. You are part of a stable called Freedom. Let's
Yes.
talk about this stable on Freedom, what they are, who's in the group, and what do y'all have in store on March 24th coming up.
Well, March 24th is Sweetwater Pro Wrestling. It's Extreme Justice. Saturday, March 24th, like you said. And Freedom itself is basically we try to do it the right way, and we try to play by the
Hello.
because they didn't really they didn't accept our talent or our abilities. So now we're doing it our way, and we're there to do whatever we want, whenever we want, and they're going to have to accept it whether they like it or not.
So Sweetwater's name of the event's coming up on March 24th. You're going up against Tesha Price. You are defending the women's championship, and if Tesha was to win, then things just get interesting. That the whole landscape could change that night.
Yes.
So
Sure.
I wanna give a shout out to George Alonso, very good guy, a fellow radio host. And Sweetwater, I've heard so much about it through him. He's promoting it on social media. Very awesome dude.
Mhm.
So who do you consider like your influences as a wrestler?
My influence
Yeah.
as a wrestler, definitely I would put Ric Flair there because he's just all-time greatest, and he's just an amazing worker. And as for women influences, I would have to say I'm a big fan of Gail Kim and Lita for sure. I mean, they built what women's wrestling is now, and how women can go and have Royal Rumble matches and be in the Elimination Chamber. I mean, that's a whole other level. I find that amazing.
There has been a lot of talk about the women's evolution in the past couple of years, and I love what the women are getting out of this. Not only do they get main event matches, but they getting like Royal Rumbles and Elimination Chambers and Hell in a Cell matches. Lita, I gotta say, she looked real good at the Royal Rumble. She did kind of scare
She
a lot.
did.
She did scare some people, including me, with that moonsault. I almost thought she wasn't gonna make
Oh
it.
my!
That was
I freaked out with that moonsault as well.
yeah. She scared some people. But that just what made her unique, because she was the only female that I knew that was willing to do those moves, the cruiserweight type of moves.
Yeah, I think sometimes the problem with women's wrestling, like today, is that at least to me, all of them feel the same. Like Lita is a big influence for me because she's one of few that actually stood out and like acted differently, wore different gear, did different things in the ring. I mean, that stands out more to me.
And I will say the closest to Lita as far as today's women wrestlers was Candice LeRae because she can work. She does some
Yes.
moves similar to her, and I'm happy that she's on NXT right now with her husband, Mr. Gargano. Now,
She deserves it too.
so she's worked hard. She's been around for a very long time, yet she still performs at a high level. So
Yes.
that was a good sign to see. Ivory recently been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Sh I put her in the underrated category. She was an amazing worker. I did not know she was a glow girl. To tell you the truth, that shocked me more.
I didn't either.
I didn't even know. And a lot of talk about glow from the Netflix series and things like that. But I didn't know she was a glow original prior to her. And she definitely showed a great worker, and she was hilarious in some moments. She white to censor, only she could pull that off. Only she can pull that off and be all like anti, glitz and glam or whatever. She pulled it off very well, and she looked great.
Yeah, not for sure.
Oh yes, so as far as you in 2018, you got Sweetwater coming up next month. What are some other upcoming shows that people need to know that you're going to be a part of coming up?
Well, actually, this weekend, Saturday, I have Go Wrestle 51 in Daytona, and I have Pro Wrestling 2.0 on the Edge in Port Richey. So I have a big one coming up.
And for people that wants to learn more of your wrestling career and upcoming shows, where can they go and check you out on social media?
On social media, my Twitter is MS Anna Diaz, and you can find all the rest of my social media on AnnaDiazWrestling.com. There I post all news coming up, all my events. I'll post every now and then an article like about myself to learn more about me. So everything will be there.
AnnaDiazWrestling.com is the website. Go check it out. All the social media feeds are on there, and her upcoming shows and everything that Anna Diaz related. So, and Sweetwater Wrestling coming up March 24th. Go check that out. Anna will be there defending the women's championship against Tesha Price. I want to go back to the Sweetwater show for a moment. Talk about that show in particular and what's it like to be the current women's champion.
I think it was amazing to win that title, especially in a brand new promotion that I have to thank George for, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be holding this title. And it's just amazing because I'm like the top girl there, which to me is a big honor, and such a promotion that has such a variety of talent there. And I'm just excited to see what new challenges and what new competitors George has for me.
I've been a friend of George for a couple of years. He's done radio, and I've also been a special guest co-host of his show in the past. He's a very genuine, good guy, very passionate about the sport, and I didn't know that he owned his own company until I started seeing it on social media. So I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him, of what Sweetwater has done so far, and I look forward to many more things from Sweetwater wrestling in the future, and you being there makes it pretty cool too. And it's very important for people to support the local wrestling out your local wrestling companies for that matter. There's a lot of talented wrestlers on the indie scene that people don't even know. And so there's good talent out there. It's a matter of finding it and go out there and check it out every week if you're able. So there's a lot of good talent out there. So go support local wrestling. Go support your local wrestling companies. And before I let you go, what would your advice be to anyone that wants to become a wrestler, or at least how to get started? What would your advice be?
How to get started, I would say I don't think there is no how to get started. I think if you're passionate enough about wrestling and you have the right idea of what you want to be, I think that it's just a matter of finding the right school for you and being dedicated. Because if you're not dedicated and if you're not loving what you're doing, then there's no point in doing it.
Yeah, wrestling is definitely something not to be taken lightly. There's a lot of people that there's a lot of pretty much a lot of people takes it seriously, and if you're not gonna take it seriously, don't waste your time and don't waste others' time. People are putting their bodies. People are putting their bodies and their well-being on the line just to go out there and perform. And they don't want people not giving their 100%. So,
of course,
pretty much. Well, Anna, it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for being on the show. Everybody, go check out AnnaDiazWrestling.com for more of Anna. And March 24th, go check out Sweetwater Wrestling coming up next month. All the details are on Sweetwater Wrestling on Facebook and other social media feeds. Go check it out. Check out Triple Threat Wrestling Radio on Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m. on TMVCafe.com and the TuneIn app. Search TMV Cafe. With Anna, I'm Kenny Cummings signing out. And thank you everyone for listening. And see you on the next Triple Threat Wrestling Radio Live.